One of the hardest things about loving our neighbors is how we see our neighbors. And it is out of this place, and I mean, it started with friendships, it started with family, it started with me getting married and having to really learn God's will for my relationship and submit flesh to that. There's a prayer that was birthed out of all of that. Lord, help me to see. It started with, Lord, help me to see my husband the way that you see him. Help me to see my husband the way you created him to be. It is very easy at times to think that because somebody steps on us, they are their sin. It is very easy to feel slighted by somebody, and because we feel slighted by their actions, we make them the villain that we have to protect ourselves against. And this, I found, affects our relationships in so many different ways. And the truth about it is, we don't take into consideration sometimes that it's not only about people's actions, it's also about how we perceive those actions. I think St. Matthew talks about the fact that if the eye is dirty, then the body becomes dirty, because how we perceive things really impact our ability to respond and see the situation. And so there are a lot of times when we will experience actions and behaviors from someone that means nothing, is innocent from their perspective, but because of how we look on and how we experience things, it affects how we respond to them. And not only that, it affects our perception of their action. And so my prayer is, Lord, teach me how to see this person, see my neighbor, how you see them. Helps me a lot of times to get beyond the action and how I perceive the action, and actually show up and respond to that person from the place of how God sees them and how God instructs me to see them, to see wounded hearts where wounded hearts are, and to be led to pray for those persons, to see people who need support and are able to give support, to see people who lash out and not feel lashed by. It's because when I look at them, that is who do I see. I see God's son. I see God's daughter. I see a wounded soul who needs grace. And it's not to say that I serve them in a way that dishonors me, because that's not in the mantra there. But the way I see it, to hit out at a wounded soul, it's kind of like kicking a wounded dog that only bit you because he's trying to protect himself and the wound that he has. And so, my friend, are you out there kicking wounded dogs? Are you out there kicking wounded individuals that are down and they're only lashing out because they're wounded? Will you pray today, my pink flamingo friend, that as you interact with your neighbor, as you love on people, I encourage you to pray, Lord, teach me how to see my neighbor the way you see them.